Today we continue in our 10th week of Ordinary Time. Easter is moved around each year, and so when we conclude the season of Easter, which is where we're at now, back into the green time, Ordinary Time, we just drop into a particular week of the Ordinary Time season. And so we kind of leave it for Lent and then come back into it after Easter. And for the extraordinary form calendar, this would be like weeks after Pentecost. So that keeps that connection with Pentecost, but the idea is still the same. I do think there's something very much to be said for keeping a connection with Pentecost, that we remember that. But anyway, we're back into Ordinary Time. And so we're reading from the first book of Kings, and the story of Elijah, the great prophet, a miracle worker who lives in the northern kingdom of Israel during the reign of King Ahab. And one of the things that had got Elijah in trouble with the authority was Elijah's insistence on worshiping Yahweh alone, and not the deity of the region, in this case a god that was called Baal. So Baal was the regional god, and Elijah would not worship this Baal. And so today we pick up the narrative. This is after a confrontation Elijah has with Ahab, and Elijah is kind of fleeing this person. He encounters this widow. And I do want to say that I think this reading, which I've heard over the years, it really, in many ways, we don't get the full drama of what is happening. The widow is, they're going through this terrible drought. And as a result, the resources are very, very slim. And so Elijah tells this woman, before you feed yourself and your son, make something for me. And I mean, he's never seen them in their lives before. He's a new person in their lives. But they do that. So it's a story about the widow's faith. And Scripture is full of stories of faith, and this woman is one of those. She believes that God can work through the prophet, and as a blessing, a reward for this faith, that she and her son are able to continue to eat, and they're able to be okay. And so it's just something to think about how our faith calls us out into great actions. And how often we're called to have faith in the midst of trial. Not when things are going very well, but in a difficult time, as it was for this widow. And so, sometimes we feel like God is punishing us for asking us to believe and trust in Him in the midst of difficulties. And that is not unique to us. That is the story of how God has worked with His people and called out great deeds and great qualities for thousands upon thousands of years. And so we're not alone in those moments. And then today we encounter our reading from the Gospel, and this is a great Gospel passage, right? Salt and light. And Jesus is using analogies that would have made tremendous sense to the people of that time. In our age, where we don't think about a lamp to light something, a lamp is more of a decorative thing, typically these days for us, or for a specific purpose, like the Easter candle or the altar candles. We flip the switch off, and we're done with the light. In this era, he's making a point that salt is used to preserve things. They didn't have refrigerators. Salt was very special and kind of precious in a way. And if salt loses its purpose, what's the good of salt? And he says, no one puts a light under your bed or out of the way. The whole purpose of the light is to light up the house, to give light. And so as I prayed with this, I was thinking how he says, your light must shine. He doesn't say your light should shine or I wish your light would shine. He says your light must shine. And to me that holds me accountable, because I think about the great saints that we know of, the ancient ones, the modern saints, John Paul II, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, and they were known for their great deeds. Books are still being written about the things that they did, and sometimes they're objects of controversy. Mother Teresa was not without controversy for some of her choices in managing her religious order, as you may know. But their light did shine. And so when each of us passes away, is there going to be a book about us and about our great and heroic works? Or will there be nothing to say? Nothing really to say about our great works, our works for God. So I think it's just something to keep thinking about, and may God continue to help us to let that light shine, and that it may be visible that we are disciples.